We're going to start with YB dropping his new tape, Decided. It came out on November 10th. He released 3 lead singles, Deep Down, My Body, and Guapi. Those were the 3 lead singles that he didn't drop before the album had ended up coming out. He also said that he was going to release a deluxe tape coming out this Friday. This podcast should be out by that time. So it's coming out this Friday. I don't know how many songs is going to be on the album, on the deluxe, should I say. But he did say that he will be dropping the deluxe. The track list has 18 songs with only one feature, and that's being Rod Wave on a song Better Than Ever. And yeah, so with YB, my whole thing, this album, let's start off with the album. The album, it's a good album. I'll say that it's a good album. But my whole thing with YB in these past couple of albums, and this really has been ever since he dropped Colors, the albums, you know what you're going to get out of YB. The albums are going to be good. You know that you're going to get at least one hit from those albums. But compared to his older albums, his 38 Baby, his AI Youngboy 2, Until I Return, Sincerely Kentrell, when he did drop it while he was in jail, those Realers, another tape, those albums and mixtapes, they didn't have like no misses whatsoever. With these newer albums that he has been dropping with Don't Try This at Home, Realer 2, Last Line Mito, and even this album, Decided 2, I wouldn't necessarily say that it has a miss on here. They're good songs, but it feels like he's missing something with these albums. It doesn't sound the same. When you go to the first Decided, when you compare Decided 2 to the first Decided with Sky Cry, No Mentions, Murder, all of these good songs, phenomenal songs on here, Big, 338, Deceived Emotions, the last song on the album. Those albums don't have no misses. His older music doesn't have no misses. With YB and Decided 2, these songs are good, but it feels as though it's missing something. Whether it's him being on house arrest and he can't do the certain things that he was doing in the past, and he's getting older. So now since he's getting older, he's changing up his music to an extent. He's doing more singing in his songs. Maybe that might be the thing, because us YB fans, because I will say that I am a YB fan. He's my favorite rapper personally. But YB, what we know him best as is this murder rapper, this trapper rapper who was in Baton Rouge, who was in New Orleans, who was doing all of those things in Louisiana, making murder music, having his ops. I was literally looking at his documentary by Trap Lloyd Ross. Be sure to check that out. It's actually a pretty good documentary, but it basically documents the whole entire history of YB rapping and what he basically raps about in his whole ops. And that was his whole focal point. When someone died, his ops, that was what he would rap about, and it would be nothing but straight murder. Now, YB is versatile. YB is one of the most versatile rappers that I didn't heard, newer rappers that I didn't heard. And obviously you have Drake and you have other rappers before him, but I'm talking about for this newer generation, YB is a very, very, very versatile artist. So him doing the singing, him doing trap rap, you have to be this type of versatile artist for you to stay in the game as long as he is. YB been rapping really in the mainstream ever since that he was 16 years old. I was in grade school when he was blowing up. And you see him now, he's 23 years old, and he's still coming out with songs, hits that are good. It's very impressive. My top 5 songs on the album, what I will say, Deep Down, I feel like is his best song. I'm a Demon is number 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if you say that that's number 1. Life and Glory is my number 3. Wrong is number 4, and Bigger and Better is number 5, with my honorable mentions being Better Than Ever with Rod Wave and Now Who. That was a good song. But it feels like with this YB album, it's missing something. When I was listening to it for the first time, and you know how you listen to an album for the first time and it's not really hitting, But then when you come back and listen to it more, it sounds completely different than the first time that you listen to it. That's exactly how this YB album is, this Decided To album. But it wasn't like that back then. You could listen to Until Death Called My Name. You could listen to AI Youngboy 2 the first time, and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is a banger. Every single song was very, very, very good. Like, this was prime Youngboy that we're talking about. AI Youngboy, the first one. Since even Sincerely Contrail, the first time that you listen to it, you know that, oh yeah, this is the one. This is one of them ones. But when you listen to Decided To, and obviously since it's the second Decided, you have to compare it to the first Decided. And the first Decided was just phenomenal. It was great. Every single one of those songs was just hitting. With this album, on the other hand, it's good, but it took me a little minute for me to say that it was, okay, it's good. Now I know what I'm working with. Now I know, okay, this is more so a singing type of album. Yes, you have like my address public, like those type of Play With Us. You have those type of songs where it kind of gives you flashes of the old YB, but it ain't gonna be the same as an entire tape of just the old Murder YB, like your Tops, like your Realer, like your Decided. It's not, something is missing. I don't know what it is, but it feels like something is missing. The old YB, are we going to get that old YB that we know from 2018 all the way to like 2021? I don't think we're going to get him anymore. You're going to have flashes of it, but will it be a whole album like a Top, like a Realer, like a AI Youngboy? Nah, it's not going to be like that. And later in this podcast, I will be giving my top 10 YB albums and mixtapes. I personally cannot do his whole discography. That is a little bit too hard. And I did Drake's discography in a couple of podcast episodes, but I feel like with YB, he's just too versatile. He's so good. So it was hard for me to do 10. I could only give you 10. It was hard for me to do the full discography of YB. But nonetheless, what I will say about this album, the one feature, Rod Wave did his thing on Better Than Ever. YB did his thing on it too. But is it hitting like home? Nah, it's not hitting like home off the last Lamido. And to be honest with you, I didn't even think with him and where he is in the industry, and I feel like YB is blackballed. I don't care what nobody says, YB is blackballed. But then at the same time, he doesn't really mess with people in the industry because of the simple fact he is blackballed. So I'm surprised that he even had Rod Wave on this tape. I really thought that it was just going to be a tape with just him and him only. But he ended up getting Rod Wave on the song, and it was a pretty good song. This album will grow. Will it be one of his better albums? No. But just like with Realer 2, it was a good album. But at first, it was like, man, what is this? But it grew. Don't Try This at Home was a pretty good album. It had to grow. Like, you're not going to get a YB tape now, I feel like, to where each and every single one of those songs is going to be hit. You're not going to get that. With Realer, you're not going to get Survivor, Slime Belief, Cross Me, all of these songs. I Came Through, Dope Lamb, all of these hits coming back to back. Until Death Call My Name, you're not going to get a Through the Storm, Genie. You're not going to get none of those songs. Astronaut Kid, Overdose. You're not going to get songs coming back to back like those type of heavy hitters. But we can't just sit here and act like YB is not going to go a whole entire track without giving us a hit. Even his newer albums. It's just not Colors when he was beefing with Dirk. I mean, he still had Bring the Hook. He still had that. The Last Lamido. He had Vet Motors on there. I mean, he's still a hit at the end of the day. You had Don't Try This at Home. You had Big Truck on there. You had Realer 2. You had Put It On Me. All these songs was on TikTok. Then you have Richest Out that just dropped before this album. He had Bitch Let's Do It. So we're going to get a hit out of YB. That's one thing. But compared to if you're just like a casual listener, should I say, that just comes to listen to YB, now it's not going to compare to his older music. And even if you are a fan of YB, you can just tell that it ain't the same. Something is missing. A big ingredient is missing. And that's what I feel like it is with this album. And I'll give it like a 7.5. A 7.5. And that's 7.5, 8. I would say that. That's exactly where it ranks, and I listened to it a couple of times. But when you compare it to all the other albums in 2023, is it better than Gunna's album? No. Is it better than Utopia? No. Is it better than Rollo's album? No, it's not. It's just not. But it's a good album, though. It's a very good album. You get different types of versions of YB. You get the singing. You get the melodic YB. You get the rapping YB. You get the trap YB. You're gonna get all of those things. The beat, the changes of flows, and I'm a Demon. That's what makes it one of his best songs on the album, because of the change of flows on there. My opinion, the worst song on there is Freestyle. Like, you have songs like that where it's like, that song should not have been on the album. But overall, I feel like it's a pretty good album. I don't have any complaints other than I feel like it's missing something compared to his older albums like Gorilla, Until Death Called My Name, which I personally feel like is my favorite album, which we will be getting to when we be talking about his top albums. But yeah, YB is blackballed. 100%, he's blackballed. And obviously he's not gonna get the features like a Dirk. He's not gonna get them. He just isn't. And we will be talking about Dirk later down in this podcast episode. But overall, Decided To, pretty good album. I wonder what type of songs he's going to drop on this deluxe. It will be very interesting to see what direction he tries to go with these songs. But I feel like it's going to be a mixture of what he has now on Decided To. It's going to be trap, it's going to be And Your Feelings, is going to be those type of songs all combined in one, because that's what Decided was. The first Decided, it was basically that change of YB being just a trap rapper to him now being a melodic rapper. That was the album. So when you had songs like Sky Cry and Deceived Emotions and those songs like that, it really showed his singing skills. That was like the make or break album for him. Decided, that was the make or break album for him. So Decided To, he has to come with basically something similar to that. Just like what he did with Riller to Riller 2 was kind of similar. But Decided To, is it better than Decided? No. It will never be better than Decided. But I'm really just trying to figure out where is the fall. I don't want to say the fall, but where was it in him making albums where now it's like, okay, we know that we're gonna get a hit out of YB. We know we're gonna get at least 1 to 2 songs, like heavy songs, and the rest are just gonna be like some very good songs. But I feel like where the albums kind of separate from it being hits to hits to hits to hits all the way until now it's like you get a couple of hits and the rest of the songs are good. They're not bad by any means. They're just very good songs, but they're not that heavy hitters, the ones that we're going to remember. I feel like I would say Colors. After the whole King Von incident and YB was beefing with Lil Durk, and then YB dropped a better tape than Durk, in my personal opinion. I feel like after that, The Last Lamido, it was good. It was a very good album. But to the regular people that just listen to just YB, like let's say just casually, it's not that heavy hitter album. It's a very good album. Like I said, it has Vet Motors, Loner Life, Acclaimed Emotions, The North Bleeding, Mm-hmm. Proof. It has good songs on there, but is it gonna have like your heavy hitters, like your Bring the Hooks? Or we can go as far back as Sincerely Kentrell, which is even not even that far back. That whole album, Hold Me Down, Break Me or Make Me, Nevada, songs like that. Is it going to be like some real deal like heavy hitters? Nah, I feel like that was the album. After that, now it's just okay. We know what we're gonna get out of YB. YB's not gonna give us a trash album, but I don't know if he's going to give us that old YB that we do know. And obviously he's getting older. So you have to mature. That's just what comes part of it. So when you do mature, there could be a chance that your audience could break off depending on what type of music that you decide to make. If you don't continue to make the same music that you used to make, especially with YB making music when he was 16 years old, and that's when he real deal blew up compared to now he's 23. That's 7 years. So in 7 years, you got to change something, and especially if you're trying to stay a rapper in the rap game and trying to have longevity in the rap industry, you have to change your flow. And that's what YB is doing. He's changing what he's doing. But when you do change, your audience could change. It could change for the good and it could change for the bad. You could lose people. People gonna say that your music is trash now. It's not hitting the same. But you're maturing. You have to mature. You have to do some changing. And that's really what's just going on with this album. Is this album a bad album? No, it's far from a bad album. But is it gonna hit like your realer twos, your realer, Until Death Call My Name, Top, Until I Return? Nah. Sincerely Kentrell? Nah. It's not anything bad. It's just, yeah, you're just in maturing. You're just maturing. So when you're maturing and you want to change yourself for the better, your music is gonna change. And that's just what's going on here. So like I said, this album is a 7.5, 8. Is it better than A Gift and a Curse? No. Is it better than Rollo's album? No. Is it better than Utopia? No. It's not. Drake's? No. It's not, but it's a very good album. It's a good album. Pretty good album. Now, I'm going to give y'all my top 10 YB, his discography. I'm going to just give y'all 10. Because I can't do this whole discography because I ain't going to lie, it was hard. It was hard after 6 to 10, but I feel like this list is a pretty good list. If y'all haven't tuned into my ranking of Drake's discography, tune into that podcast. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the 100 video special on which I talked about it. But here we go. I'm fixing to be ranking YB's top 10 projects. And I think this is a good list. This is the best list that I could come up with. Let me know what y'all think. So number one, I have Until Death Call My Name. That's my personal favorite. And I feel like that's his best one. Number 2, I have AI Youngboy 2. Number 3, I have Top. Number 4, I have Realer. Number 5, I have Sincerely Kentrell. Yes, that cracked the top 5. Now from 6 to 10, I kinda, it was hard. But number 6, I have Still Flexing and Still Stepping, a very underrated project by YB. Number 7, I have AI Youngboy. Number 8, I have Decided. Number 9, I have Colors. And number 10, I have The Last Lamido. Now, with Decided, with these, the mixtapes that YB does drop, when you try and compare mixtapes to albums, with those mixtapes, it's not even going to have that many songs. It may have like 12 songs or something like that. Compared to a full album, it may have like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So you have less error. Like you have to be perfect on each and every one of those songs in order for you to crack the top 10. So with Realer being number 4 as an example, every single one of those songs were heavy hitters. My personal favorites, Slime Belief, you have Survivor. Those are the top 2 songs just right there. 1 and 2, right? Then you have Cross Me on there. You have I Came Through. You have Dope Lamb. You have 38 Heights, which in my personal opinion is probably YB's best lyric songs and like just relating like that's a very good song. One of my personal favorites. So the mixtapes, it have to be perfect. So that's why it was so good. I put it at number 4. Same with Decided. Decided made it to 8, but it was a very good album. Very good album. Sky Cry, No Mentions, Murder with him and Trippie Redd. You have Deceived Emotions. You have these good songs on there, right? It was a good song. You had No Love. No Love was a very good song, but it was a mixtape. But it was still a good enough mixtape to be in the top 10. Now, still flexing, still stepping. People may say that that is not 6. I can see people saying that AI Youngboy is better than that. Okay, I can see that. But I feel like overall as a collective album, yes, AI Youngboy was that one that really got him through, but still flexing, still stepping. I feel like overall as a collective album, when you compare it song for song and heavy hitters with Lil Top, with Red Eye, with Fine by Time, it's a better album overall. And then you have Batman, No Understand, Bad Bad. You have songs like that. I feel like overall as a collective album, it is better than AI Youngboy. Still a very good album. AI Youngboy, very good album. Graffiti is one of his best songs. That's like one of his anthem songs, really. No Smoke, Untouchable. Like it has some very, very good songs, heavy hitters. But the point with this that I'm trying to make, I just gave y'all 10 album slash mixtape. I just gave y'all my top 10. And The Last Limito is the newest album from his discography that I have on his list. And that album came out, if I'm not mistaken, came out last year. Came out either last year or the year before last year. I think it came out the year before last year. So basically what I'm saying is his newer albums and his mixtapes that are coming out, yes, they're good, but are they heavy hitters? No, they're not heavy hitters, and they're not even coming close. Not even coming close. But no knock against Decided to. I feel like it's a good album. I wonder what this deluxe is going to be. I wonder how he's going to mix it in with Decided. I wonder what type of songs he's going to have. I wonder how many songs he's going to have. He hasn't released it. He might release it later in this week. So that would be very interesting to see. So YB is blackballed. I don't care what nobody says. YB is blackballed. But good album nonetheless. Is it hitting like the older YB? Nah, but it's okay. It's okay.